Hi everyone, and welcome to the Mel Hurry Show. First one of 2025. So it's been a long time, and I'm so happy though because it's not just a long time, and I'm doing a show just for the sake of it because obviously we all need to do some content and whatever. But this is about talking about purposeful projects with people that are doing such great work. And just recently, and I know there's a lot of people doing some great work out there, but recently I came across a post from Melodie. Now, if you remember Melodie, she was a previous guest on the Mel Hurry Show. Now, she's doing some amazing work in Congo. She got back from Congo recently, probably recently to me because that's how time's flown, but it's probably been maybe some significant months now. So, Melodie, you'll get a chance to correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so again, we're going to talk about Empower Her, which is the latest campaign that Melodie is currently working on in Congo. So without me having to go into too much into it, let's get Melodie to talk about this amazing campaign. Melodie, welcome back to the Mel Hurry
Thank
Show.
you. Thank you so much. I am so honored, and it's such a pleasure to be back again
You
to talk
are.
about the work that's going on in Congo.
Mhm.
Yes. Mm.
Amazing, amazing. And I know we have a little guest as well with you. So again, viewers, this is Melodie's, it's your niece, right?
Yes, it's my
Yeah,
niece.
great. Well, whenever she wants to say hello and wonders what we're talking about, let her come on. It's absolutely fine with us.
Yeah, okay. Okay, sounds good. She's just going back and forth. My goodness. She loves the camera as well. Oh my.
Mini Melody.
Yes. So every time I'm recording, if I'm recording anything, she'll just come in front of it. She will stand in front of it and she's just doing all these poses.
Oh, I love that. And it's that sort of authenticity that we need on most content. So
Yeah.
amazing. Right. So Melody, tell us a bit about your journey since the last time that we spoke, because obviously you went back to Congo because you did mention that you were going to do some more work in Congo. And I know we've had some considerable time. It has been about a year now. So, yeah, tell us a little bit more about that journey and then we can start talking about Empower Her.
Yes. So last time, last year,
Oh, I've lost you there, Melody.
sorry.
Yeah,
Let me oh,
perfect. Amazing.
let me just mute my phone.
Hmm,
Some, someone was calling.
perfect timing.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, from the last time we spoke, I was heading to Congo, and it was for the 30 days, 30 hopes, Voices for Congo campaign that we did last year, raising over 30,000 euros to support women and children in the displacement camps.
Yeah.
So I had the honor to go meet the women, to go meet the children, talk to them, and also share a meal with them. Yeah, I was able to volunteer and help out as much as I can. And I was able to see where the funds were going
Yeah.
and how they were impacting those people and to hear from their stories, which was quite empowering and heartbreaking at the same time because the reality over there, oh, it's not what any of us would even imagine. The people are just going through the worst of the worst you can think of.
Mm.
They're being fed human flesh. The ladies, oh, they're being violated a lot as well in search of food. So it was quite humbling to be there on the ground with them. It's a different thing to talk about the experience from a different country.
Yeah.
But once you're on the ground with them, it's quite humbling.
Yeah.
It is so different because the reality is that at any moment they can drop a bomb, so
Mm.
I can be there and be a victim as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was that fear working in the camps. There was that fear that at any moment they can drop a bomb and I'll go as well. At any moment I can get attacked as well.
Yeah.
But that's the reality. That's the reality these children and these women are facing. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I'd love to say a huge thank you to everyone that supported the 30 Days for Congo campaign last year. It was such an honor, and the funds were able to change and transform lots of lives. We're able to get clean water for them. We're able to get food. We're able to get more tents, build more shelters for them, which was life changing. So thank you so much to every single person that supported, and thank you so much to you as well, Mel, for giving us the platform. Thank you
Anytime,
so much.
honestly. I mean, it's the least that we can do, when we've got platforms like this, we should be using this for the greater good. So it's about spreading that message, but also, if we can at least touch one, two, three people, then at least that's, an extra three people towards the goal, the campaign, but also to saving lives as well. So, again, this is what we should be using our voices for. Amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
There must have been some point now, where when you were like on the grounds with the people, and obviously, like you said, you were also under threat because you didn't know what was going to happen, etc. Was there any point did you think I just need to go, or like was it just no, I'm gonna stay in? Like, what kept you going through the experience?
That's a great question. So after talking to the women, just experiencing the whole thing in general, I had so much guilt of just returning back to my normal life and acting like it never happened, just acting like the world is all roses, it's all nice, I can just forget about it. So I decided in that moment, while I was in the displacement camps, I decided I have to do something that is sustainable,
Mm,
something that um, aims at long-term solution instead of just temporary ones.
yeah.
Because one thing that I saw was, yes, we buy the food for the people, but they'll only have that food for 3 weeks, or they'll have it for a month at max. And
Mm,
then next month they'll need more food. So if we don't raise enough money next month to buy them more food, then they just go back to the
yeah.
same thing. We can get them water, but how long is a water bottle going to last? It's not
Yeah.
going to last
Yeah.
a while. So, yeah, in that moment, I decided to start an organization that is focused on sustainable solution,
Yeah.
that is focused on sustainable change. So instead of just buying water bottles, we actually going to dig a well, a water well. So that way
Amazing.
the people will get water forever.
Yeah, yeah.
For anytime they want water, they can get water. So instead of just providing food, we're building community farms.
Oh,
Ins-
wonderful.
Instead of just providing medical aid, temporary aid, we're actually opening clinics so the people can always receive help.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I started with Hope Jerusalem, and that ties back to the current campaign that we're doing, Empower Her,
Mm,
which focuses on investing into small businesses owned by women. We want to empower them to become independent. Because
amazing.
one thing I noticed is that a lot of the women in these displacement camps, they've had their freedom taken away from them, their independence taken away from them, their voices taken away from them. They do not have a sense of identity. They do not know who they are. And most of them want to get into businesses, but they don't have the right capital. They don't have the right investment. They don't know how to go there. So, yeah, we decided with the Empower Her that we're going to invest in smaller businesses. We're going to empower the women to become independent so
Yeah.
they can feed their own families, and they can pick out their own futures and work towards that. And another thing is the community farm. The community farm focuses mostly on the orphans, because now we're working with a lot of orphans. We're working. The reason why we have a lot of orphans is because a lot of women are dying during childbirth
Yeah.
due to lack of medical care. A lot of them are passing away, leaving these little babies, leaving a lot of kids just taking care of themselves. And if the dad is not killed, then the father is not really capable of providing
Yeah.
and taking care of all those kids. So a lot of the kids have to fend for themselves. And some of them are complete orphans. So they've lost both parents. They have to look for ways. And now we have kids that are working in the mining,
Mm,
like
wow.
um, we have kids, yeah, working in the mining sites. So the goal for the community farm is not just the food, is to provide employment and to also provide education. We want to educate them on how to grow their own food. We
Mm,
want to be able to provide employment. They can work, help take care of the community farm, and they get paid for that as well.
Mm.
And once the food is enough for the community, we can always sell the rest so that the money comes back and we can invest it in other projects that will help the community. So, which is a great, great, great opportunity. And the other thing that we're doing with the Empower Her campaign is to build safe homes for the elderly women.
Yeah.
So we have couple elderly women, about 50 of them, but right now we can only support 10 just
Yeah.
due to
Of course.
limited financial
Yeah.
like finances. Yeah, we can only support 10 at the moment, but in the future, we'll love to support all of them. But right now, we want to build safe homes
Yeah.
because we have a lot of elderly women who have been abandoned by family, who have lost
Yeah.
family. Some of them have lost every single person in their family, and it's just them.
Mm.
So we want to be able to provide the safe homes for them so they can stay in these homes and we can have somebody look after them so
Yeah.
that they can benefit as well and they can go on with life. Yeah.
It's a lot, isn't it? And also there's, I mean, I don't know, I mean, obviously feel free to disagree, but there's also, I guess, the cultural stigma as well, because if a woman is not with her husband and she's got her children, or even the fact that, she's just starting, she's starting again, that also leaves her very vulnerable in terms of the community as well. So again, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but are there sorts of like judgments that come with that as well, and where she's having to start from scratch? Because I know, obviously, from like the Asian community, just as an example, if you are either unmarried or divorced, you've got children, in those situations, that leads to extra vulnerability, not because of maybe things like violence, etc., and being, that those violations, but also in terms of community and cultural judgments, I guess. Is that also true that that may come across, or again, it could be completely different?
Oh no, that's very correct.
Mm.
A lot of the women, once she has lost a husband, usually something that I've experienced while I was there in Congo,
Mm.
I experienced a lady who lost a husband to a motorcycle accident, and within a week of losing a husband, she lost everything.
Ugh,
They
yeah.
took everything away from her.
Mm.
Basically, they even took the kids away from her husband's family, came and took everything away from her, and they threw her out.
Gosh.
So now this lady, she's basically 22 or 23 years old, so she's young. She's
Yeah,
a young
very.
mom. They threw her out. Now she's homeless. She has to find a way to survive. So that's one of the challenges that women face once they lose their husbands.
Yeah.
Another challenge is that as a woman, especially in a place like Congo, you have children and you don't have a husband, and all of a sudden they assume that you're doing prostitution. They
Yes.
assume that you're a loose woman, and some of these men, before they can even give you a job, they would like to sleep with you. Before they can even talk to you, they want to sleep with you because all of a sudden they assume that no, you're loose. How can you have children and they don't have a father? And those women are not given the respect that they deserve. They're not given the grace that
Mm.
they should be given. They're really not considered. So what would these mothers do? They'll have to do whatever they have to do to survive so that they can provide for their families.
Mhm.
And I've seen some of those mothers, they'll have their babies on the back
Mm.
and they'll come knock on doors, car doors, begging for food. They'll go for, they'll leave in the morning, they'll leave their children all to themselves. They'll leave in the morning, go look for food, God knows where, in the most unsafest
Very.
places, and
Yeah.
then they'll come back in the evening, try to provide for the children. So now you have children that have to raise themselves, 5-year-olds that have to look after themselves. Now
Yeah.
you have a 5-year-old who's taking care of a 2-year-old.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's basically the reality there in Congo.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And the thing is as well, when you spoke about Empower Her, and I guess, once you put your reel on Instagram, it just triggered me because I was wanting to get involved in some sort of way to kind of help women. And when you did your reel on Instagram, it was like that's the sort of campaign that we should definitely be championing, getting behind, because again, these women need our help. The children need our help. Elderly women need our help, because not only is it just women empowered, but it's also about the generations to come as well. So you're thinking about, you know, setting the business up, the safer homes, education. And this is not something that is just going to be, you know, like you said, for a week. Yeah, you could obviously give them food and medical aid. That would be enough for maybe 2 to 3 weeks. But what comes after that? What's going to feed years to come? What is going to help, you know, the mums' children, you know, when they get older, and then they can pass the business down to their children, etc. You know, these are things to try and, you know, help them live, but also think about legacy as well. And I think what this campaign is focused on is phenomenal work. And again, this is about building hope for these women, bringing that safety, security, not just financial security, but, you know, you mentioned things like status, respect, dignity, and also that's going to what that's going to provide for the children as well. So, I mean, absolutely amazing, amazing stuff. So, what's currently taking place now? Is it now we're raising funds, or do you have certain educators that you're already working with, or, you know, businesses that you're starting to build? Like, how are we? What's the kind of, yeah, status right now?
Yeah, as of now, we just finished the water project. So
Mhm.
we did build a water well for the
Yep.
community.
Yep.
So we just rounded that up, and right now we're just working with the community in terms of how we're going to go about with the community farms, where the community farm will be located, and how everybody can have access to it. We're working with the women, trying to see their needs, because some of them are blind, the elderly women, and some of them are disabled. So we're just working with the right authorities, I would say, to see how that can go ahead. So we're trying to get whatever permits that we need to get
Mhm.
to be able to carry out the project. But mostly as of now, we're just teaching the kids, just dealing with the weekly education lessons that we provide for the kids,
Nice.
mostly focusing on the campaign so that we will be able to raise the funds so that before the end of summer, I will go to Congo and join the team there so that we can start building, we can start finishing everything. And by the end of the year, everything should be ready for the community. And yeah, so excited.
That is amazing. And to be honest, we should be doing more, you know, and this is just a stepping stone. This is just what is already going on out right now. Obviously, the fact that you've managed to build a water well and start off with the community farms, so much more is left to be done. And the plans that you've got and what, you know, what this campaign is going to do is, like I said, you know, build those communities even further. It's going to build that hope as well. And I think that's the main thing here. So, in terms of everyone else in the rest of the world that could help, what do you need from us in terms of support?
That's a really great question. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah,
As of now, the greatest support will be donations,
yeah,
because it's through donations that we'll be able to carry out all this project. We'll have to buy land. We have to purchase
mm,
land. We have to purchase quite like three lands,
yeah,
and we have to purchase the materials, the building materials. We have to purchase the seeds. We have to purchase all the other needed stuff, the machines.
yeah,
Sometimes we have to rent them out. We have to rent the machines to be able to carry out the work. Because if we want something that is sustainable and something that will last a while, then we have to invest good money in it. You
absolutely.
don't want something breaking by the next month or the third month. It's falling apart. Oh my goodness, that would be a nightmare.
Definitely. I mean, yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And that kind of screws up the whole, you know, the whole reason for the sustainable ways of working. Like, we
Yeah,
want things
it
to last
screws it up.
longer. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. So, do you have an
Exactly.
idea as to like how much would cover like a particular package, let's say? So, let's just say if we wanted to invest in a business for some of these women, or if it was, I don't know, investing in medical supplies or a center, for example. Do you have an idea as to how much that would be, or is that still kind of being fleshed out at the moment?
Yeah, so at the moment, based on the business ideas that we've received from some women,
Mm,
we've come to the conclusion that some of them, like the basic ones, starting like a donut business, it will take around 1,500 USD dollars to be able to carry that out. So that will be
yeah.
the training,
Mm,
providing the materials, providing all the needed equipment to be able to carry out the work. So
mhm.
yeah, that would take, and then also the space, right? Because sometimes they have to rent these spaces out.
Yes.
Um, Sometimes they will just have to, if we come to a point where we have to purchase a space for them to
Mm,
be able to carry out the work, then that is factored in the um, fundraiser as well.
yeah.
But as of now, it would take around 1,500 USD to be able to carry out the work.
Yeah.
And for the other businesses that are quite advanced, that need more materials, that need more equipment, that need a lot of training
Mm,
and just a bigger land, then yeah, those ones will be in the 5,000, 10,000 range to be
thanks.
able to carry those ones out. But right now, we're just starting with the smaller ones, trying to
Mm,
support them with the smaller ones. And in the future, we'll be able to
mm,
invest more into the bigger ones, the larger ones. We'll
yeah.
see on how these ones goes, and then we'll be able to further invest.
Excellent. Yeah. And I'm just, again, message to the viewers out there. Look, if we're looking at, say, 1,500, right? That's even half or maybe even quarter of some people's salaries. Now, I'm not saying obviously in 2025, I know expenses are high, and that's not saying, right, just do away with your wage for that 1 month. But if you can think what we use in 1 month, that could actually supply training, a business, and this level of longevity and legacy for for a family, a small family, if that, right? Um, I mean, we just need half of that for a month, okay? This is something to support for a lifetime of support that's going to provide. So, again, for those of you that are, if you've got, a few pennies, cents, dollars, whatever that is, right? Put some money towards that. If you can give as much as you can, because at the end of the day, we're thinking about supporting people that are in need. This isn't just about, oh, okay, I'm going to buy a Starbucks coffee or I'm going to, do my weekly grocery shop. This is about funding lives. We're talking about lives, support, education, business, housing, medical, just to support women who are and families that are in a vulnerable situation. So, whilst I know this isn't a charity pill show, this is about talking about the campaign. However, I really just want to kind of bring this to our attention because us on the other side of the world, we're just doing day to day. Yes, obviously, costs are rising. We do know that. But then there's also things that we do have extra that we could probably say, actually, I could probably sacrifice for a month just to kind of help and someone else actually start their lives and get the respect and status that they deserve. Anything that you want to add more to that, Melody?
Yeah, just another thing that I wanted to actually highlight is a lot of the mothers and the women that we're working with, they're actually young moms. A lot of them are under the age of 18, unfortunately, because they're in a place where a lot of them get married. They're married off so that the family can escape poverty.
Yeah,
So usually it's for the bride price, and then the families marry these little girls to
yeah.
some elderly guy,
Mm,
and then they're the third wife or the fourth wife or the second wife or the fifth wife. So you can only imagine what they're dealing with. And they have babies at such a young age, and it has like a lot of effects on their bodies as well.
mm,
And because they don't have access to medical care, so you see some of them passing away. It's quite unfortunate. Even while I was there, we were able to go to a funeral for
mm,
one of the mother. Yeah, she passed away during birth. Luckily, the baby survived, but it
yeah,
was really sad. She left a lot of kids.
yeah.
So a lot of these women that we're working with, I may call them women, but you just have to realize that
Little
at the end of the
girls.
day, they're little
Yeah, yeah,
girls. They're somebody's baby, somebody's daughter. They're really young. It's,
yeah,
oh my goodness, it's heartbreaking. Sometimes I'll have conversations with them,
yeah.
just like, Myself at 24 years old, I can't even imagine having
What
5 kids.
exactly, exactly. And again, and it's the situations that they're in that they have to have the children, or
Yeah,
they have to get married at such a young age. They've all got dreams and aspirations. And Melody, like we spoke about, in the last episode that you were on, um, the dreams and aspirations that you have as a child is going to be very different if you are now a teenager or someone as young as in their 20s and then having to get married. It's not even a negotiable. You have to get married just so
yeah,
that you can provide for your family or get the status because of obviously the cultural constraints as well as, people thinking that you're loose or that you're unprotected and therefore you're being left as vulnerable. So
yeah,
the amount of psychological impact as well as physical impact that that has, the empower her movement, again, Melody, just again hearing that was just like, this is exactly what we need to get behind. So in terms of the links, is it via a GoFundMe, or is there another link that you wanted to provide to us so that I can share it with our viewers and listeners?
Oh yeah, our GoFundMe is the official link, but some people like to donate via PayPal,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. But so we do have a PayPal account, and it's just Hope, as in HOPE, and
Okay.
then GCLM at
Okay.
gmail.com. So you can donate via PayPal as well, or you can donate via GoFundMe. And if you're someone who doesn't use both, then you can just reach out to me, and we can find other ways that you can donate, either through bank transfer, either through check, or
Yeah.
whichever method feels comfortable for you. They'll
Brilliant.
all be added up for the campaign, yes.
Excellent. Well, I'll be putting all those links in the details as well. So you should see some of this popping up on the screen right now. Um, Melody, again, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. We don't raise enough awareness about Congo. And again, we need to think about how we can help those that are being oppressed, and how we can help them build hope, have hope, and also think about the long-term effect and like the sustainable effect that it's going to have for the country and for those women and those families. Thank you so much, Melody. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers and the listeners?
Yes, thank you so, so much for having me. And thank you once again for giving us the platform to be able to share these women's and girls' stories, to be able to raise awareness and to be able to support them. And something else that I wanted to share is so we are currently helping a girl. Her name is Dorcas, and she works in the mines.
Okay.
I asked Dorcas when I met her. Um, we started teaching her actually a few months in advance, and because we have a lot of kids, so I wasn't able to meet her one on one. But once I went to spend 24 hours in the mines, because I wanted to go work with them, I wanted to go experience what it's like to work in the mines. Oh, it's quite challenging on the body. Oh my goodness. Whew.
Wow.
And the mental load too. Yeah, it's quite challenging. But I met her, and I remember asking Dorcas, like, "Hey, what's your dream? What do you want to do or be when you grow up?" And she said she wants to go to school, which was so simple and so innocent. And she said her
Yeah.
dream is just to go to school. I said, school? A lot of us try to avoid school as
Exactly. How
much as
many of us want
possible.
to, yeah, you think about, children are thinking about, oh, I don't want to go to school. They'll kick, they'll scream, they'll complain, they'll cry not to
Yeah,
go to school. But
yeah.
she wants to go to school.
She wants to go to school, and turns out Dorcas, her father passed away.
Mm,
So the whole village, the community that we're working with, they accuse her of witchcraft, which is so common with a lot of the girls and the women in Congo who are living in extreme poverty or displacement.
mm.
So they accuse her of witchcraft, of killing her father, and her mother is just addicted to drugs. She's struggling a lot mentally,
Yeah.
and Dorcas has to take care of like 5 siblings. She has like I'm pretty sure her mother has another one now, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, she had to take care of all those siblings by herself. So she wakes up at 5 a.m., goes to the mines. She works really hard, and she barely makes $1 a day.
My gosh. Yeah.
And then
And
she comes back
how
in
old
the
is she?
evening. She's only 12.
She's
She's
only
12 years
12
old.
years old.
Yeah, she's 12
Wow.
years old. So the exciting news is that we were able to share that story and someone was able to sponsor her education. So Dorcas will be starting school in September, which
Wow.
is so, so, so exciting. Yes, we're really excited. And right now, what we're trying to do is to also help raise some funds for her as well so that we can be able to support her with the food, we can be able to support her siblings as well, because what would happen is we can put her in school, but if we're not able to provide her with food and we're not able to provide for the siblings that she supports, she will go back to
Yeah,
the mine.
exactly.
She'll have to
Yeah.
go back because that's the only way that she survives. So
Mm.
we are so grateful. We are so, so grateful that someone was able to pay off her school for the entire year. They sponsored her education, which is such a blessing. And I know Dorcas is going to be so excited.
Definitely.
Once I meet her in August, she's going to be extremely, extremely excited. So I can't wait to share this with her. Yeah, and in the meantime, we do have another campaign that we did for the children, for them to go to school, and it just called Education for Congo's Children.
Okay. Yeah.
30 days, 30 hopes. Yes, so any funds, any donations that goes to that campaign, it's entirely for the education of the kids. We're
Excellent.
putting these kids in school. We're trying to provide them with the best education that they can receive so that they will be able to have a brighter future. And it's all part of the sustainable plan that we have. We have to educate the next generation, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just thinking, so part of the stuff that I do, I kind of teach on the 17 United Nations sustainability development goals, right? And one
Yes.
of them is quality education. Okay. There's this point of zero poverty. And then we're talking about equity and equality as well. There's so much in there that's, part of those 17 development goals as part of the United Nations. I'm just thinking the work that you are doing, the campaigns that are there to make sure that those goals are going to be met is absolutely phenomenal. So again, everyone, this isn't just about someone or a group of people just deciding this out of nowhere. This is also part of the United Nations goals. This is part of something bigger. And just this campaign, so we've got the education campaign, we've got the Empower Her campaign, and then of course last year the 30 days and campaign was just part of that. So imagine if all of us got together and were part of these goals. Honestly, definitely something that would be tremendously, and it would be met. It's supposed to be met by 2030, but just by doing more
Wow.
and more of these goals, or
Yeah.
contributing to these goals, we could get there. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Melody, for using this time today to talk about this. Viewers donate.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put all the links in the details, so there's no excuse. Even if it's a small amount to a large amount, just do it because they need our help. And also, you can already see we've got a 12-year-old that's now going to start school in literally just
Wow.
12 weeks. It's amazing. Like, I'm super excited, and I would, please do keep us posted on what's going on.
Yes, I'll make sure we always post the stories. So I'll make sure to post an update. I can't wait. Oh my goodness. That's something that I'm looking forward to is her going to school. I have to be there on her
Absolutely.
first day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is making her life. This is a pinnacle moment for her.
Yes.
And yeah, I just can't, it's just amazing. And sometimes you're speechless at how a campaign can actually help someone go to school.
Mhm.
Like for me, this is a big thing already. What a huge impact. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for your time, Melody.